Hi, my name is Reyna. I'm a yoga teacher and a lifestyle content creator. I don't know, we're figuring it out, but welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm talking about my 10-year-long bachelor's degree, my master's degree, and how I acquired both of these things through an online university called Western Governors University. If you're here just to learn about my experience with WGU, some of the process of getting in and what it's like to be a student there, feel free to skip ahead. There's timestamps below. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about my journey, education, life through my 20s, stick around. So I just want to briefly talk about my college journey a little bit. I mean, I think it's relevant to this conversation. In the States, it's so expected that as soon as you finish high school, you go to college, even if you have no clue what you're doing. I barely graduated high school. In retrospect, it had a little bit or a lot to do with my undiagnosed ADHD and my severe depression and anxiety. Regardless, I just kind of stopped going to class. And so I stopped going to class, struggled to graduate, and just didn't have the grades to get into college at that point. Even with that, I considered myself a very high achiever. I was president of the drama club. It was there was a lot of kind of dissonance for me. And so I started going to the local community college, and where I'm from, honestly, one of the best community colleges in the country. Really well-developed programs. It's really big. It's just a really great resource, and it was really affordable. But with that said, I didn't know what a FAFSA was until my second semester. I had no idea. No one told me any of this stuff. So I was scraping together funds, paying out of pocket to go to community college. And I had some help. I got I can't remember what it's called, but I got a voice scholarship for singing, in my county. I think I placed third in this singing scholarship competition. And I went balls to the wall. I was taking 18 credit hours, about 6 classes my first semester and every semester. And I was doing really well doing that for a while. I did 4 full semesters like that. I did a summer semester, which was only 3 weeks. I did it before my first summer at summer camp. So I got really good grades. I applied to some bigger universities, University of Miami, University of Vermont. I got in. Then I completely had a mental collapse, partially because of school, partially because I was doing life really unsustainably, and a lot of other things. And so I dropped out. I thought I was moving to Seattle, got screwed over by a friend. These are all separate stories, and so I'm not going to tell them right now. Whole Seattle thing just kind of threw salt in the wound of my life. Fell into a really bad depression, and I did not go back to school. And then I just started working. I was working for a while. I was doing lots of things. I had some really great jobs. I tried to go back to online school a couple times. While I was in Australia, I think I did a semester of school. I don't know how many majors I had. I studied so many different things in and out of school, just trying. At one point, I lived in Tennessee, and I just I was you know what, maybe college isn't for me. I'll figure something else out. And I wanted to pursue more education. This was before my yoga teacher training. And I was okay, you know what, college isn't for me. I'm gonna find something different. And I did. I really worked my way through and up environmental education, summer camp. To be transparent as I can, I wasn't always transparent with my resumes, if you catch my drift. I still earned my way into administrative roles and whatnot. And then I got my job in Seattle, which was a summer camp job, but year round, also with an HR and hiring focus. I was really scared. I felt underqualified, but I was fine. And honestly, I was really enjoying the work. I was oh, you know what? I like interviewing people. I like training. I like working with young adults. I could do this, and I still might, And so I was okay, what would get me there? And so I started looking again for online programs, and I found one through Portland State University, but it was still too expensive for me. And at this point, I had been through multiple institutions. At least as far as my credits go, I was at this junior year kind of standing. I remember a friend of mine had mentioned something called competency-based education. And I don't know where he was doing it or what any of it was about, but I just Googled that, and there's quite a few different places out there. As I researched, just the accreditation, the legitimacy, the course offerings, price, just the legitness of the place I chose, Western Governors University, I thought was the best. I thought it was the most appealing, and I'm a researcher, and so I really did look into all the options that were available. So when I originally started looking at WGU, I was looking at the teacher's college because I thought I wanted to become a teacher in some capacity, like in the classroom. I sent in like my information and someone called me, and they're really good about responding. They're very fast on the response. And the person I talked to was really helpful and basically said, like, if you want to go to the teacher's college, you do have to do in-classroom experience, which is totally reasonable. And with my full-time job, I just couldn't commit to that. And so I started looking at different pathways, and the WGU has 4 different schools, I believe. They have the teacher's college, they have a business, like a business administration college, they have an IT one, and then I think they have like a health one. And I started looking at the business one, and I saw they had a human resource management degree. I looked at the coursework, I talked to someone on the phone, and I was like, okay, yeah, this seems like a good choice. The application process is pretty easy, and I have never gone to the website and not a fee waive, like an application fee. I've never not seen an advertisement for waiving the application fee. It's like a special they're always running. It's like when I lived in Seattle, under my partner's apartment, there was this sushi place that always had this sign up, and it was like, all sushi, 50% off every single day. I guess if they didn't have the sign up, maybe the menu would be full price, but it was always 50% off. So I applied. I kind of had to jump through like the hoops I created for myself by moving through so many institutions of getting my transcripts, but I also had to pay some debts. I owed some schools money. So I did all that. I applied for federal aid, and the way Western Governors University works. Finish this and we'll go to my desk. Western Governors University, WGU is how I'll refer to it, is a competency-based college. They offer bachelor's and master's degrees, and it works on a term-by-term basis. And so one term is a 6-month period, and you pay a flat rate for that 6-month period. The price ranges between $3 to $4 grand for bachelor's degrees and like $4 to $5 grand for master's degrees. You get this 6-month period. You will get I think they call it like a mentor, but it's kind of like an advisor who helps you build a class schedule. Originally, you get about 3 classes, but the cool thing about competency-based education and WGU specifically is you can move at your pace. And so the only thing that you're committed to start is those 3 or 4 classes. But if you finish them in a week, like I did when I first did my bachelor's, the first 4 classes were like review for me. And I was actively in an HR job. So I really had a lot of resources at my disposal. And so I was flying through classes. I could do some of them while I was at the office. I just really like had the perfect setup to move fast and efficiently through these classes. So you can finish as many classes as you possibly can in that 6-month term. There are people who finish their whole degree in that 6-month term. And so you pay, let's say $3,500, and boom, you like bust ass and you're done with your degree. It's legit, it's accredited, it's covered by federal loans. Like online education, it's not for everyone. And I also say that because a lot of the coursework is dry. This isn't like a passion project. Like I wanted to finish my degree because I felt like I needed a bachelor's to successfully do the things I wanted to do. It was after a lot of thought and a lot of processing and a lot of trial and error, but that was my decision. And I was like, you know what? I have tried the passion programs. I was an anthropology major, a musical theater major, a music major, an English major, psychology major. I had tried the passion programs. They were fun, but ultimately they just didn't work for me as far as like finishing what I needed to do. And so this was super cut and dry, super straightforward. You have this mentor who's there to help you choose your classes in a smart order. And they also open classes for you. So you don't have to accelerate, which is what they call it when you move faster through the program. But if you'd like to, you need to really discuss a plan of action with your mentor. And my mentor for my bachelor's was incredible. He called me every week and he would leave me messages, he would email me, and I'm the type of person who kind of just like drops off. I'm like, okay, I quit, this is too much. He was like, how are you? Are you okay? How can I help? And he was just incredible. And so it took me longer than I had originally anticipated to finish my program. It took me about a year, so 2 terms to finish my bachelor's degree. But I did it, and my goal was to finish before my 30th birthday, and I did. December of 2020 is when I finished my bachelor's degree, feeling pretty motivated and inspired. And so I went ahead and applied right for the master's program in management and leadership through WGU. They have quite a few master's programs. I was in between the MBA and the management and leadership program, but ultimately I decided to go that way because that's more of what I'm interested in. My mentor for my master's was not as as motivational, not as interested. I don't know, just like not my cup of tea really, but fine. What also happened right as I was starting my master's program in February of 2021 is my online things, my YouTube, my Instagram, all my social media stuff started to really take off. I was just really busy and I was torn. Basically, it took me a lot longer to finish the master's program. It's a lot more writing. I didn't enjoy it. Be straight up, I did not enjoy my master's program. I thought it was really, really boring, but I'm still glad I did it. I think more than anything, I learned that I could. I have quit so many things and I don't feel bad or like guilty about quitting things, like because I want to spend my like very short time here in enjoyable ways. And also there is something really reaffirming for me to know that like I can complete something even if I'm not enjoying it. It took a lot of focus. It took me about 1.5 years to finish my master's program. I don't think it needed to take that long. I finished some of the classes in a day. I finished 3 papers in a weekend. I'm pretty decent at school. I'm a pretty good writer. Like it was fine there. I just did not want to do it. I am a procrastinator. But if you are someone who has some college credits under their belt, I think WGU is such a great option. Even if you don't, you can still attend. They have like bridging programs so that you can get some of the credits that you need before going into WGU. Affordable, like compared to so much, especially if you're like really trying to finish in one term, it can be really, really affordable. It's covered by loans. You can get Pell Grants depending on your income level. During my master's program, I had a Teams project where I had group chats and everyone was in different situations, different parts of the country, just kind of working towards the same goal. Some other important things to know is do need a good internet connection. You'll need to get a webcam that is not part of your computer because you will take like multiple choice exam. Those are all proctored, pretty inexpensive. You can also get them secondhand really easily from former WGU students. Since it is an online university, there's lots of Facebook groups that help kind of support people through the process. If you want to accelerate, there's Facebook groups for specific programs. And while I didn't post much in them, I definitely looked at them kind of daily for inspiration, for tips, for little tricks to help with the classes, for study guides and so forth. And you need a computer that's gonna like last you. I did all of my bachelor's on like a little laptop and like a webcam on a rickety tripod that I literally made. And so you don't need the fanciest stuff. You just need to have access to these things. All of the course information is supplied online. So you don't need to buy books. There's nothing you need to buy. There's lectures. It's honestly wonderful. Like they provide so many of the resources that really make traditional school inaccessible. There's course instructors who are there to have meetings with if you need help. I talked to course instructors mostly during my accounting courses, which I took in my bachelor's degree, and they were so helpful. Only 13% of the country has master's degrees, and I'm one of those people, and it feels really good. Only I think like 35% of the country has bachelor's degrees, and I'm also one of those people. Colleges and big universities and Ivy Leagues are so romanticized and glorified, and they're so inaccessible to so many people. And just because you get your education online or in a non-traditional way, it doesn't make it any less valuable, any less worthwhile, or any less real. Like I have a master's degree. Whether some people kind of roll their eyes at the institution that I got it from is not my problem, because if and when I start to apply for jobs outside of my house, I have a master's degree and I have the chops to back it up. I know this is kind of like a weird overview of it. And so looking through the questions from my Instagram, I think I covered most of them. I feel like I covered all of them. If you have any other questions, this was not like a nitty-gritty deep dive into the programs. I don't know about all of them, but like I said, they are really available to talk to you, to help you. Like they want you to go to their school. That's really like the best way I can put it. This video is not sponsored in any way. I am in student loan debt. But if they want to cover that, I love your school. You should sponsor my video. If you have any questions, please let me know. I am really hopeful that people like feel inspired to go back to college to finish their degree if that feels right for them and if they want to. I also acknowledge that like you don't need a college degree to be successful. And if college isn't your path, that's totally okay. I think the biggest thing is like, don't write off all education. There are so many trades out there. There's so many skills to be learned. There's so many ways to enrich yourself and potentially give yourself a more financially stable life. I really hope that you feel inspired to walk a little bit more towards those dreams, towards those goals. And if you have any questions at all, like I've said 1,000,001 times, please don't hesitate to ask. So thank you so much for being here, for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.